So this is going to be primarily about Instagram. However, a lot of it can be translated into Facebook. And when we talk about Planoly, if you're using both, we'll get into it a little bit more. If you're using Instagram and Facebook, you are definitely going to be able to like use the Planoly as maybe your base if you want to use it, and then you can kind of repurpose it to just copy and paste over to Facebook. So just so you know, if you are just a Facebook person, it won't be, you know, irrelevant to you. So let's see here. We're going to get into this. And again, this is being recorded so y'all can watch the video again. But my name's Heidi Singerhouse, and I am a director with Zaya. And I've been with Zaya. Shelby's my mentor. And so I connected with her. It's been a little over a year and a half. We're coming on 2 years in June, I believe. So, so I am definitely been, you know, growing with Zaya. I'm still shooting to get somewhere. And everything that I am sharing in here are things that I've learned over the past couple years. I've really kind of dived down and invested a bit more in kind of branding, social media marketing. And so the things that I've been learning, I love to like share it. And that's kind of one of the things that I like to do within my social media too. So I kind of geek out on this stuff, I guess, to put it bluntly. So if you guys ever have any questions about anything like this, let me know. And by no means do I have all the answers, but these are some things that I've learned that have worked for me and maybe can help you as well. The one thing I did want to just kind of, you know, talk about a little bit is like we all had a pause, I'm sure, over the past week about like how the heck are we going to navigate during this time? Like, should we stay quiet, or do we talk about even buying anything? Is that like bad? Or what do we do? Like, how do you look at your business during this time? And, you know, I was trying to figure it out for myself, and I, you know, heard different things all over the place. And I decided for me that, well, one thing I saw is like, were the restaurants trying to be quiet? No, they were trying to think of creative ways to stay open. Are gyms trying to stay quiet? No, they're trying to think of other ways that they can give value and do things. So it's the same mindset for us. It's like, how are we going to show up during this time? And I think it's like, are we going to like kind of paralyze and stop, or are we going to like double down and be the ones that kind of come out on the top of this? Because we're going to come out of this. You know, there's an end. We don't know when it is, but we will be able to be those people that did that double down and just creating a lot of value. So this is really like perfect timing now, because we're going to talk about like the value within your content creation. So it's like very blatant that we need to do this right now, and it's going to like carry us on through the next, you know, months here as we start to come back into like a normal life again, whenever that is. There is one of the things that I always have to go back into too, just kind of when you're thinking about content creation, is like kind of what is your mission and why are you here? I mean, our mission is like, there's the Zaya mission, right? But what is your personal kind of mission? Like, what's your thing? Like, are you here to like, we probably all have real similar types of missions, but we all kind of verbalize it in a different way. But it's a good thing to like just write that down. Like, for me, I'll just let you know, like, for me personally, my mission is basically to show other people that there's possibilities out there, and that I'm like a constant learner, and I will share. I'm enthusiastic about sharing what I learn. That's kind of it in a little nutshell, but kind of understanding what that is kind of helps you kind of push forward too, so you're not paralyzed that way. All right, we're going to start with the content part, and then we'll go to the Planoly part. So I'll try not to make this too long. I told Shelby I was kind of a talker, so I need to like stay on task. Okay, so there's basically 3 types of content out there that get noticed. There's a type that's shared. Shared content is like something that's a lot of times quotes are shared. Very polarizing content is shared. Or something like super relatable, funny, whatever, really creative. Those things are shared. It's important. You want to have all types of these types of content. So that's why I'm talking about this. So those are shared. The second one is engaging. So engaging content is, when people are obviously talking, commenting, and those are something when your content is something where people cannot not say something. So, they're going to say, yeah, me too, or they need to answer, or they want to raise their hand. That's engaging content. And one of my favorite ones, like for, I'll be honest, I haven't been doing a lot of Facebook parties, but it's my thing now. I decided it's my thing now, and I'm doing one like right now. And I've done this in my group too, and it's always engaging. I've done it twice in my group just to kind of knock up the engagement. Is okay, what do you guys wear under your leggings? Number 1, commando. Number 2, a thong. Number 3, a brief. Engaging. They cannot not answer. So that's the type of stuff that you're thinking about when you're talking about engaging. Things that people can, and use that one in your groups and see if they answer. Are you a 1, 2, or 3? So those types of things where people cannot not answer. And then there's saved content. So saved content is like a tutorial, a recipe, a grocery haul, lots of times like those infographics that really kind of explain something, those get saved. Those are something that people will refer back to. So when you're talking about how you're kind of trying to up your game in content, you kind of have to have these things a little bit in mind. And don't worry, we're not going to figure this all out right away. It's going to be it takes a little bit of time to figure it out, but this is why we're here. Okay, so to kind of break down, how do I start to create content? What do I do? And I think a lot of us have these already, but maybe we call them different things. I call them pillars. And I like to say to people that I'm helping get 4 to 6 pillars. And these pillars are something that is, one better be your activewear, right? One's your hobbies, your passions, your family, probably, your business, especially if you're wanting to grow a business, right? Those are pillars, and I'm going to give you more and more examples of what that can be. But if you start to categorize, if you start to have those 4 to 6 pillars, then you can start to kind of drill down into each pillar, and that's just going to help you get infinite content from those. And don't worry if you start with 4 and then you're like, oh no, I don't like that one. It's okay. You can change anytime. There's no pillar please. You can do it. So I got a ton of examples, and I have a PDF that I actually has all of this in there as well, as far as all these examples. But as you can see, there's activewear, fashion actually could be a pillar, fitness, nutrition, personal development, spirituality, runner. I know a lot of you are already doing these. But if you can think of the ones that fit you and make sure you have, a good, 4 to 6 of these, it's going to really help create your content and not make it so difficult. And at the same time, when you think about these pillars, we're talking to somebody that wants to hear about them, right? Like our ideal person. And we'll talk about that. I'm not going to get too much into that ideal person, but we're always thinking about who are we trying to tell this to? All right, so I'm going to just go over a real quick, say for instance, activewear is one of your pillars. So a content can be, how can I take my peak joggers from workout to night out? Okay, you're not necessarily selling that, but you're giving them value on what they can do and what other things they can wear with it. So be a reference in this point. That's something that is like a reference. Um, and I always like to like reference what else you're wearing too, not just the Zaya. Maybe one of your pillars is nutrition, and nutrition can be niched down, way down. But here, a list of my 5 favorite gluten-free cookbooks, or my 5 favorite bloggers and why, and tag those bloggers. If one of your pillars is business, what app do I use when I'm doing my online events? So this is a great one to show like how you're doing your business without selling your business. So, okay, here we are, we're using Zoom right now. You know, we can take this, hey, who uses Zoom in their events? I use this when I'm doing my Facebook parties for my activewear business. What other apps do you use? So you're creating engagement, or you're helping them by giving these recommendations for an app for somebody else that might be looking at it. Or you're just giving them an idea, saying, oh wait, how does she do that again? She's doing her business. So you're showing up doing your business, but it's within your pillar and you're not really selling the business. I gotta look, is there any questions? Is there anything in the chat? Anybody see anything? No? Okay. Okay, a baker. I just saw Allison's post her cookies. So I'm like, okay, what is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe, and what do you always do when you bake these? So like, you know, not just posting the recipe, but like, okay, do you have to have the butter hard, soft, cold? Okay, I wanna know, how do you make the best ones? So if you're a baker, that's like value, you're giving value. If you're a fitness instructor, I know we have a lot of those, or a trainer or something, how do you learn your routines? Like, what are your tips? Like, how do you memorize it? Do you do note cards, or how long do you practice? Like, give the inside kind of journey of what that is. And of course, the cool thing is you're basically wearing your Zaya in everything you're doing. So every picture can still be with our you know, activewear on. So just to kind of go back to that, your picture does not have to match your caption. You don't have to have those match. You can have a picture of yourself and talk completely about your business, how you conduct business. It doesn't always have to be like you in action of doing it. I think people sometimes get hung up on that. I would start to accumulate like pictures of you in your Zaya. And here's just a really quick tip for you too. If you are like feeling good on a day, you're in your Zaya, and maybe your hair's done. Like I kind of did my hair today. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my phone, I'm gonna put it on some books, and I'm gonna put it in the sunlight. I'm gonna take a headshot, I'm gonna take a body shot, and then a full length shot. Boom, boom, boom. I have 3 photos of me and my Zaya that I'm gonna use for later. So then you just keep those. So you're not always thinking at last minute. So that's just something like, hey, I'm feeling good today. I'm taking a head, I'm taking a shoulder, I'm taking full body. You have that for later. So, and it's cool because we're all wearing it anyway. So you're gonna have that. Or your husband becomes a photographer, or your kids, which that was another piece of content I was gonna think about, like showing your kids now becoming a photographer while you're home in your Zaya. So like just kind of things like that. Like, what are you doing? What's the behind the scenes? And then I'm just going to touch really quickly on the ideal customer. So whenever we are writing our captions, you're thinking of who that person is, right? An ideal customer. And I know you can really drill down and like, okay, she shops at Whole Foods. She's a Lulu buyer. She lives in a suburb. She's 27 with 1 baby that's 9 months old and pregnant, and oh wait, that would, I don't, well, anyway, you know what I mean. You don't have to do that, because, and you can, everybody kind of has their own way to like figure out who they're like talking to, because when you write, you always want to think of like one person. So what I like to do is like, I like to think of like a friend who I think would be amazing at this business, and I'm just going to talk to her. I'm writing to her every time. So she doesn't know it, but I'm writing to her. So, and that's what you have to think about, because if you keep talking to one person, it changes your language. So you're saying, you instead of like in a broad way. And that's when you're going to capture people, when you just say, hey, I'm talking to the you, I'm talking to that person, I'm talking to that one person that really wants to know like how to make the perfect gluten-free casserole with spicy chicken, whatever it is. So, and so that kind of just navigates your whole language. And the other thing I like to think about is if you are wanting to build a business and you're thinking more of like a business builder, right? That's who you want to talk to. I always like envision someone I would want to go on a trip with, because you're going to earn trips with this person, right? And you want to have fun with them. So that's your person. So talk to them. So that's just a real quick, like on the ideal client. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just show you real quick here. Let's see here. So this is what I have as a PDF. So I have a whole bunch of, and I'll send this over to you, but it has like a whole bunch of examples of what I had in the slide there of the examples. And then in here, I just put like ideas under each one. But what I wanted to touch on real quick is think about the question that that person is probably asking you. Like for instance, I did another thing where I did like the spoke with the center, and I can maybe show you guys that too, but it's kind of the same thing. Or say somebody wants to be a rep, and that's kind of your pillar, right? Business. What are the questions people are asking you? And so then you think, oh, here, I'll find that one right now. So let's say, isn't sales scary? Or how do you actually sell? Or what's the investment? And then you can speak to like content creation, saying, hey, you know, who's afraid of selling? Then you're going to get that person like, oh yeah, I might be, or whatever. Then you talk about like how you do it. So these are just little ideas that can kind of help you think about that creation and then answering that question that you think someone might have about it. So you're creating value within all of these. And if you guys have like any questions or you like need to brainstorm ideas, I'm definitely up for that. So I left my info on the bottom of this. Okay, where am I here? So now we're gonna run to Planoly now. And Planoly is a free app. You can upgrade, but I think the free is fine. I don't think that you need to upgrade to the paid. And some of you might be using Planoly already and have some input on this as well. But the one thing here are the reasons that I like it. Planoly is something that I can, once I take those photos that I think are cool, when I'm feeling good, I'm going to just drop those into Planoly. I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's a storage place for me. It's a scheduler for me. So if I ever have like, if you just have ideas of content, you're going to be able to like plop that in a caption and have it for later. And then you can go back to it and like redraft it if you want to. And the cool thing is that you can use this on your computer and phone. So what I do basically is I take my pictures on my phone and then I upload it to my app on Planoly on my phone. But then when I want to do my captions and I want to write, then I do that on my desktop because it's much easier to do my captions on my desktop. So we are going to go over here. So, okay, here's Planoly, and I don't use it for stories. I don't use it for, I basically just use it for my grid. And this is all these numbers down here these are the ones that have already been posted. And then up above here are just all these pictures that I've just plopped in here over the whatever. So they're everywhere. So they're available. All I have to do to move them, so I can see what my grid is. And I think a grid pattern was kind of the thing a while ago, right? Like, okay, I'm going to have 3 pics and then I'm going to do a quote, or 4 pics and do a quote. And then I want this to look like this. That's not really a thing anymore. I think people are like wanting it to be real, but you do want to have it where there is kind of some resting white space in there where it's not all cluttery. People want to be able to go to your feed and kind of understand it without feeling like overwhelmed. And your pictures, the main thing about pictures right now too, the trend is not really to have like your perfectly filtered and have like pink in every 4th one. That's not necessary to do that. And that can sometimes prevent people from even posting these like, oh my God, I don't have a picture that's going to fit my grid. Oh my God. So, but don't worry, because that's not a thing anymore, because that was, but it's changed a lot now. And people are just wanting to put things out there that are valuable, but they still have to look clear. They have to look focused. So essentially for me, what I do for pictures is I use Tezza. People might use Lightroom. I haven't really worked with that app much. But the only thing I use it for basically is for exposure. If they look dark, I'll lighten them. And for cropping, I'll take out like jumbled stuff. So I'm going to show you, where's my one that, oh, I think I need to refresh this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to show you how you kind of drag and drop and all that good stuff. Get back down here. Okay, so you see this S here? This is my one. I haven't posted it yet. So, but you can, oh, I can't drag and drop that one. First, I just want to show you how you can kind of drag and drop. See how you just plop it. And then if you want to have like some kind of pattern, you can kind of play with it and say, oh, here you go. That's a sea turtle. I haven't used that picture. I don't know why I still have it in there, but there's Frank. So you can kind of play with that if you want to create, if you want to say, oh, hey, I haven't had a picture of me for a while. I should look at this and kind of create some kind of, and make sure that, because you really do, you want like 80 to 90% of your pictures to be of you. You can put your kids in there. I always laugh because Rick and Frank always get way more engagement than my pictures. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's okay. But anyway, so this is one that I scheduled. So I plop this in here. And then up here, here's another reason I like Planoly is because when I type this caption in up here, I'm able to have this white space, and you can do a couple things. You can do, see how it says automatically post? I don't do that. The reason I don't do that, I just leave that, it depends on how you have it defaulted, but I make sure that's unchecked, because third-party posting to the Instagram app is not favorable for algorithms. So I don't use that. So basically what I'm doing, I'll have this in my photo, or you can also just do, oh, let's see here. What I basically do is I just copy and then I paste it to my Instagram. And I do this all on my phone. So once I have my caption in here and I'm ready to post it, but here, this is what I do. I schedule it. So when this time comes, like I've got a notification already. I said I was gonna post it at 3. So then I'll get a little pop-up on my phone that says, oh, you gotta post that. And so then I can just go to it, and then it will be kind of a manual, it'll still be a manual post. So then it will seem like I posted it directly to Instagram versus Planoly. If you are just so busy and you are, I need that auto posting, do it. You got to do what's right for you, because I understand that people are super busy and the auto posting might be what you need to do just to be able to kind of fit it in. It's a great feature. I'm just saying it might hurt your algorithm a little bit. If you are posting and you do auto posting, but then you're engaging right away within Instagram, you'll probably get boosted back up. So just remember that too. So that's really your choice on if you want to do the automatic. On Facebook, this can automatically post to Facebook too. And right now it's going to my business page. So sometimes I have it go to that. Sometimes I do that manually too. So that's all your preference on what you have over on Facebook. But let's just say, let's just kind of go through, oops. Yeah, I want to say them. I'm going to just show you a couple things. If you want to do hashtag in there, like say you want to do you do your hashtags in your comments, you can go in here and put those in here too. And then those will be saved so you can copy and paste those later. So that's totally up to you if you're all into the hashtags. We're not really going to get into that too much, but it's an option as well, just so you know. And I'm going to go back. Yep, I want to save this. Okay, I want to look at my, whoops. Save. Okay, now I have to figure out why this isn't getting out of here. Okay, all right, cool. So now what I do is you're able to get a little bit of insights within Planoly too. I have heard that those might be going away, so you can kind of see within here. I don't know what's different between paid and regular at this point, but you can kind of see what your a few of your insights. So if you're into that, you can check in that. But if you have a business account on Instagram, you can see your insights down there, which is probably the best place to look. Let's see, what was the other thing? I wanted to make sure that I was capturing all of my notes here for, oops. I'm just really, and there's really not, the one thing that's gonna mess up your, like if you are trying to like do a grid or you don't, if you wanna see how it's gonna be perfectly laid out, the one thing that won't show up in here necessarily is your IGTVs. So if you do IGTVs and then you're doing like a cover and they show up on your grid like here, but they won't show up. I haven't done an IG for a while, but they won't show up over on this area. So you kind of have to like take that into account a little bit if you're really trying to be like faithful on a certain pattern or whatever. But like I said, I don't think that that's a huge deal right now. I think you just look at your grid and say, hey, this looks pretty good. The biggest benefit I think of this whole Planoly thing is that you can kind of take photos that you know are already good. You can plop them in there. You can move them around, and then I can go like, okay, hey, I just put in. I'm going to show you this real quick. I put in a placeholder once in a while. If I just get a, let's see here, right here, you can go. You can hit placeholder. So I'll just stick that in there. And then I'll call it like, say I put it in as one of my pillars. So this is something you can do like if you have time and you want to like bulk create, but you don't know what the photo is yet, but you can do the caption. So I'll just say, oh, my pillar is personal development. Let's see here. Development. And I'll add one. So then that's showing up here. And then when I open that up, that's it. I can replace that later if I want, just by swapping, and then I can put my photo in there. And generally I'll do this on my phone. I'll add my photos by my phone because it's much easier for me. But in here now, I'm gonna able to just like, go, write some content. I'll put a date in here for, next Friday and 4 p.m. So then I kind of had some idea of what I want to talk about that day. I can save it. And then when it pops up that day, I can go back in and edit it. And I think really now it's important because of the days that we're in right now, I feel like some of the content that we create actually has to be, we have to be aware of what's happening, just because I think we don't want to like be totally empathetic to what's going on. So Like if you're just all happy and jolly about something and something really bad happened, you know, you might want to fix that content a little bit. And so this is just for me a really great lifesaver. So then what I do on something that I already posted. So I posted this one within my Instagram, but I haven't put it in Facebook yet. So I actually kind of stagger them. Sometimes I do them at the same time, sometimes I don't. But I'll take like the ones that I've done maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. I'll grab those. I'll just copy this content. I'll make sure I don't have like anything pertaining specifically to Instagram on here. Like I won't put hashtags in. I'll just copy it over to Facebook and put it on my profile. So then I always have this, like, I can take this, it's my library, I'm going to take it from here, and then I'm going to put it over on Facebook. So it kind of helps me that way as well. And I think that's really about it. There's different things in here that you can do more of, but that's really what I use it for. It's kind of a good overview, I think, for people. And I think for the organization portion and the scheduling portion is what the biggest benefit is of all of this. So I will finish up here. Let's see here if I had any other. Okay, so yeah. Oh, here's my notes for myself. Oh, and yeah, I wanted to talk about quotes real quick. And I wrote this on the PDF, but quotes are a great thing to share. Like I talked to people to us about it earlier. And a lot of times, if you know who did the quote, should mention them. Either you can tag them in the photo of the quote, you can write it in the quote, or you can put it in your caption, who wrote it. However, I would still take that quote and repurpose it or write it yourself within like WordSwag or Canva. I would leave all your quotes kind of the same color if you're going to do quotes. So I just take, like, for instance, if I saw this quote like out on Pinterest or something, you can look up like quotes or funny quotes, inspirational quotes, whatever you want to do on Pinterest. Or else if you see them on Instagram, you can save them, right? But what I do is I will put it in WordSwag. I'll rewrite it in WordSwag. WordSwag is really easy to use, and I do it on my phone. And then I can take that quote and then I can just shove it over to Planoly and I'll have it there for later too. So it's just another way to, like, another place for storage when I see a really good quote. So, and the other thing I like to do on quotes, just another little tiny tip, is I like to put even if I didn't say it, I'll still credit the person, but I'll put my name at the bottom of it, like at Heidi Singer House. So if it does get shared, then people are going to like, oh, hey, I'll tag myself in it. They'll know where it came from. So just a little bit of tips on quotes as well. All right, I am going to finish up. Oh, okay, so if anybody wants, this is just something I was just thinking of last night. So if anybody wants to do this, and you want me to like follow, or we can follow each other, whoever's watching this, I was just thinking of a hashtag that's not really out there that much. You could use this hashtag and put it in the content that you're creating, and we could do our own little challenge here. Like, are we gonna like post whatever you wanna do? Like, are you posting every day? Or are you gonna post 5 times a week? And then use this hashtag, and when you're out there posting, look up that hashtag and then comment on 3 other people that just use that hashtag as well. So then it's our way of like, oh, hey, I see your content out there. I'm gonna write something on there. It's gonna help everybody. So if you guys wanna do that, I'll look for that. I'll comment on yours. Zaya Value is the one that I came up with because that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit. Go ahead and do that. And I'm excited to hear how it goes for you. Hopefully this helped. I'm gonna give Shelby the PDF. And then once this recording's done, I'll get it uploaded or whatever. And we can kind of go out and create. So, and again, if you guys have any questions or anything, I am happy to talk to you about that and Zoom or message or however you want to do it. So I think that's it. Anybody got anything? Y'all good? All right, I know it's kind of a lot. So if one thing, it does get easier as you do it. It's just that you have to start somewhere, and it's a rep. It's a rep, rep, rep. So once you start having the pillar, once you start thinking about those things that can go under your pillar, and you just start, it starts flowing after a while. It's going to be like a little hard at first, but it's going to come. It's going to come. So just like anything else, just like our business, it's rep, 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 rep. So that's all. And I'm looking at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think that's it. So I will chat with you later. All right, you got anything, Shelby? No? Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Bye.